getting their money's worth, let's talk about players getting compensated. Yeah. Kay Ivey actually signed the bill. It was announced today that will allow college athletes to be compensated off of their name, image, and likeness. Now, of course, the NCAA is pushing back on this because they want this to be passed in Congress so that it will apply across states. But my question to you, gentlemen, starting with you, JG, is how close are we to actually seeing the reality of college athletes getting compensated in some form or fashion?
Listen, King Dunlap's in the chat right now saying pay the kid. I am King 100%. These kids, the reason that they're big is because they have worked and they have made themselves a name. They deserve to have some of that money. No doubt about it. Now, I want you guys to think one step ahead now. Yes, name, image, likeness is going to be a big deal in the college game. It's going to change things a lot. We're just going to have to deal with it. I mean, they want to cry about it, but that needs to happen. It's going to be the kids that are younger that's kind of weirding me out because people are already angling to try to get these kids name, image, likeness rights when they're in high school.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you start thinking about Tank Bigsby. I mean, he's a sophomore at Auburn right now, but let's think about Tank at 8th, 9th grade. I bet a lot of people around him knew he was going to be an absolute stud in Hogansville, right? I mean, like he was playing that game. He was the best player out there. There's going to be people now going to try to get his rights, name, image, likeness rights when he's in 8th, 9th, 10th grade. That's going to be a reality now, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The kids and the families need to get paid. If the kid's awesome and people care, I think you should monetize that. They deserve it. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this all works out.
Yeah, I can see that being a little weird, especially for the younger ones, because, I mean, as somebody who's been in the music industry for a long time, people don't necessarily understand when you start signing contracts at a young age, you start seeing dollar signs as opposed to what you're actually giving up. And, I do worry about people taking, I mean, there's already a ton of people like Cecil Newton was out there auctioning his son off, to the highest bidder, when he was trying to get him on a team and he didn't even have rights. Right. But like, just imagine, no shade to Cecil Newton, but just imagine that type of dad who's just like, all right, well, my son can and I'm going to sell it to whoever, right, without even really knowing what the son really wants to do.
Hey, he said that his son was not a rented mule. That's what he told me. I'm telling you in an interview.
Okay.
Just saying.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's just reported.
Yeah, I do think you raised an interesting point about, again, people trying to buy rights before they've even stepped foot on.
They're not going to be trying, Mike. Yeah. They're going to do it. I promise you, because I've had conversations with these people.
Yeah.
They're pretty legitimate. I mean, it's not like some shady dude that lives like in an alley. These are the companies. These are corporations. These are people with a lot of money. But they've already got their eyes on this, and they're saying, we're going to run the camp series. We're going to own the camp series, and we're going to get this name, image, likeness situation set up for them when they're in 8th grade, when they're 9th grade, when they're in 10th grade. I'm telling you, it's going to be a reality.
Yeah. Listen, as far as I just don't want to see any more kids lose eligibility because they accepted a tattoo or somebody, we've heard all kinds of stories, or somebody paid for their ticket to go home because a family member died.
Yeah.
Or, just no brainers to me that, we're altering the course of their life over silly things like that. You take $5 from somebody and all of a sudden you're ineligible. Like, give me a break. Now there's a difference, right, between things like that, and it's already impossible to fully monitor, right? Like, money on the side is happening whether we like it or not, because the stories keep coming out of people getting caught doing it. What I feel like is, in a sense, decriminalize it in a sense, that you can do just basic things. And the stuff that's nefarious that's going on, I just don't think you're ever going to stop that, man. Like, to some extent, you make laws and then you make better villains. You make better crooks. You're not ever going to stop that. But the kids that are getting hurt that aren't really doing anything wrong, in my book, that's where the tragedy comes in. So this is a step in the right direction. Like, even if the NCAA doesn't improve it, maybe some other states will follow suit. Right. And if enough people follow suit, we could get this thing right. There always have to be exceptions, but they got to get this right.
Man, Alabama's never going to be on the front of anything. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, listen, my best friend says, once you cross the state line, set your clock back 30 years. But
I'm not going to say all that, but I mean, come on.
But, you know, hey.
That hurt. But yeah, man, I think we got some questions here that I definitely want to, I think focuses in. I want to kind of direct this discussion. What is the impact? Because basically Alabama is following Florida's lead, right? And so if you're able to be compensated at, let's say, Florida and Gainesville, Dan Mullen has an offense. If you're an upcoming receiver, quarterback, I mean, that offense has produced some quality players. If I can go let my talent shine there, maybe even compete for an SEC title, get to the NFL and make some change along the way, and the state of Alabama doesn't have this bill signed, I mean, is that a recruiting edge to a school like Florida?
I would say yes, absolutely.
Somebody asked an interesting question. Did you see the guy ask about whether or not you feel like not South Carolina? He said SC and it went South Carolina in my head, but he's talking about USC would have an advantage and stuff like that because of their proximity to Hollywood. So
let me say this. Okay, so the difference between the haves and the have-nots is always going to be there, right?
Correct.
The glamour schools already have an advantage, right?
Agreed.
Auburn already has an advantage over schools like Memphis, and it's not going to put these schools any further behind.
Right.
That's not what's going to happen. Right. So I just want to make sure that we distinguish that. It's just going to be a bigger fight amongst the guys who already hold all the power cards.
They're already doing stuff. Like, let's be clear. It's happening now.
Sure.
They just don't want people to get in trouble and lose eligibility because of it. Like, it happens all over the place.
You know, somebody in your chat, Lawrence, is saying, I think it'll actually provide more parity. UCLA will get better talent. I'm not sure, man. I think everybody's going to be able to do something. I mean, yeah, UCLA's near Hollywood or a lot closer to Hollywood than, say, Auburn or Kentucky, but Auburn's got some great things too, and they have a network. Let's just say that Tim Cook and Cam Newton, pretty important people.
Yeah,
Indeed.